everybody.
Hello.
Hello, dears. All right, we are about to try something new. We're going to see how this works. I did pre-pick out times to stop the movie as we play. And I just realized my microphone's like really kind of far away. That should probably be a bit better. Pre-stop times for The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. The 2005 version, which, by the way, that like rocked me to my core. I'm like, oh, I know the first one was 1988, and for anybody who follows me on Instagram or TikTok, you saw my take on that. But when I saw that it was 2005, I was like, oh God, no! It was only 10 years ago. Then I'm like, no, sweetie, it wasn't.
I keep thinking that, but then I remember how little my kids were when it came out. Like,
I was
babies.
like,
my kid, I didn't even have all the.
I think I was 14 or 15 or 16. I forget which one when it came out.
Wow. And the fact that they're all like very much adults now is like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, Ben, you can hop on, just saying, unless you're running around or something. Okay. The biggest key here is for anybody, go ahead and sign in to your Disney Plus account.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way you're going to get it. Or like purchase it through Apple or any of these other stream options. I don't even know what to call
them. I need to find my kids' group chat so I can ask them what the password is.
The struggle. Yeah, for me, I just have like the same like 6 passwords I rotate through. And then I got the really complicated password, but I remember it because it is a phrase that I say. Like if it's one of those where you got to have a symbol and if you got to have a symbol and so many words and so many characters or like no recognizable words, this many numbers and stuff like that, I got certain phrases in my head that I convert to like a non-number character thing. Yeah. So I'm here in the comments. Yeah, I know.
Very cool.
Listen, yeah. I'm smart with my passwords, and I at least the location I save all my passwords on is password protected, and that one I remember. Forgot one time, and then it was fine. All right. Let's see here. Oh, forgot to add that. Okay. Did it work?
Oh my gosh, it worked. I got in.
Yay!
I started going through the passwords that I use with the kids. We changed them ever so slightly so that they're not the same.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how many chances am I going to get to do this?
Yeah. All right. I need copy that. Copy link. Okay, there we go. I just realized, so anybody who was unaware, I streamed for 12 hours last Sunday. And Mama Maggie took the flash that she wrote, and she's releasing it today, right now. And I realized I never added it to the description of my original video. So I am jumping over and adding that right now because I want to make sure that I take care of her. All right, so.
And I just want to confirm, you did not hear anything just now?
Correct. I didn't hear anything. I heard like clicking of the keys, so.
Okay, but no music. Okay, because I had already watched it, so it was on the end credits where the music is.
Oh, yeah, no music.
All right, perfect.
Okay. Hey, because try it on, make sure. All right.
Disney is very strict with their stuff, and so without permissions, you're not allowed to like play the videos. Yep. Like one day, maybe we'll be big enough where we get all the cool permissions and we can make those like that would be really so cool. Good.
Like
yeah,
reaction videos.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing. I was doing some research on like copyright free, whatever. Mm-hmm. So if we pre-recorded our own video thing, and then we edited it where we only use, but the key is, I think we'd have to switch it around. And and I'm trying to think of how to do it, because it takes, sometimes it would have to be in the background.
Yes.
And sometimes it wouldn't. Like, hold on, I'm going to do something real quick. Like, we could do something like, oh, wait, I'm not sharing anything. All right, so I'm only doing this for presentation purposes. I am not about to play the video Scout's Honor. Okay. So there's the video right now. So if we did something like this, where we're talking, we're like, oh my God, that important scene or whatever. Like, it would, yeah, we could do that. But we wouldn't be able to do this, where it's just it.
And I'm going to tell you, they say that you can do that. I tried that, and they will okay.
Well, it's with Disney. Like, if we were streaming, I think the 1988 version, and but the key is that we would have to be talking the whole time.
Yes.
Through it, kind of like Mystery Science Theater 3000, which actually I was planning to do anyway. We just won't have the video playing.
Right.
If people want to watch next to it.
So when I did my video for Bridgerton last time, I did Bridgerton. No matter what clips I played, it's like they said I could play some, but I would, because I'm monetized, I had to demonetize everything, and then I was limited, and it was a pre-done video, so I just put it up and did the checks, and so this is what the checks told me, and I don't know if it's different for if you're not monetized yet.
Good point.
Because you're not monetized, so they're going to make all the money off of you. But when you're monetized, they're like, you're not going to make any money off of this, and this is too much. You know what I mean? They tell you how much you can.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, we're choosing. So, like, 1988 version is free.
Yes.
Like, for everybody.
It's already posted.
Now, Disney Plus Bridgerton, or Netflix Bridgerton, and Disney Plus Narnia and stuff like that, those are, hey Regina, those are not free. You have to subscribe. So us publishing any version of that or doing a walkthrough would almost be a infringement on the potential monetary value that the companies could make somehow.
Exactly.
Because
I was working with someone else who was not monetized, and they said the same thing. It wasn't letting them post it with any video clips at all.
I had a video playing. I wonder if it's on.
But it was new. Yeah, it was Bridgerton, and Bridgerton was very new, and other people were allowed to, but they had permissions. Like, you have to go through this thing where
you also usually have to pay money, and this is actually a topic. So in Kate Kavanaugh's and Jessica Williamson's monthly book club thing chat, author 2 chat, they're doing the book. Hold on, I'm like 70% the way through. It's going so fast. It's actually really good, but it kind of touches on this stuff. The book is called An Absolutely Remarkable Thing, and it's by Hank Green. I would call it new adult a little bit, based on the age and how much the main character cusses, and then the poor decisions they make, and stuff, and just like how they don't really know what to do with their life type thing. But either way, they touch on a lot of the copyright, because the thing is that the main character becomes like an internet sensation because they just happen to run across and discover something, and they film it and post it on the video on the internet, and then it's like this whole deal. So you kind of get a little bit taste of the creatorship, and then even journalists were using this video, and then later, once they got big enough, then the journalists, like the television companies, had to start paying to use the video, even though it was in a journalist reporting nation. So I found it interesting.
Yeah, and the same things happen with music, where something might be copyright free now, and then someone who made a portion of the music or something gets their portion copyrighted, and so all of a sudden the music that you thought was copyrighted now belongs to somebody else. Or
it's a really great book. I highly recommend it. I'm only, like I said, 70% through, and it's kind of interesting because it's there's something that's said in the first paragraph about the main character, so the whole time you're like, well, when are we going to get to that point? When are we going to get to that point?
They better have the payoff. I'm gonna have to pick that one.
I'm sure it does, because otherwise that is horrible foreshadowing. It is not even foreshadowing at that point. It is a red herring or something. I don't even know what to call it, because they reference it a few times. So, all right. So, do you have Disney Plus up?
I do. I'm going to make this one smaller so that I can have Disney over here. And this watch through is for notes, because I've already.
You know what? I'm going to actually take notes this time. Okay. Oh, let's make sure we got this set up. All right. You and I are fine talking during this, because otherwise this would be a boring stream. So I've seen it before. You've seen it before more recently. But we're cool just spouting off and everything.
Yeah. So if you're good with talking, I will probably talk.
Oh yeah.
That's the hardest thing. Like when we did the Shadow and Bone rewatch, like everybody was like, and I'm thinking this has got to be really boring, but we're all watching it for the first time. So we're just like,
yeah, that's why I feel like I think this, like doing scripting the book, we're doing well, because then it's things that have been out there for a long enough time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know Zara wants to do with me. When we do Bridgerton, I think we're just going to do the first episode and the finale, so it'll be more like a reaction, because we probably won't have seen them before. But if we redo like Shadow and Bone, and you guys want to redo that, like I've seen it before, so we can talk more.
Yeah, that'd be good. I haven't seen it. Oh, I still got to see.
Oh, so you'll be first time. We'll be getting your reaction. Yeah,
I've seen Dune. I saw the original, and then I saw this new one. I just haven't read the book, and that's on my list. And then there's the Bridgerton, and then we were talking like Devil Wears Prada. We were talking about like retellings.
Yes, I can't wait. So you guys let me know which
Stay tuned.
Y'all want to do. I'll be doing some. Natalie will be doing some. We might get Ben, and we're gonna do some. We'll see.
Yeah, like we'll rotate. We'll let you know at least 24 hours in advance, because I tried to post on Instagram about this, so I think a few people heard about it, or just happened to see it on YouTube as it popped up as a planned broadcast. So I am only to start this so that everyone sees that we're on the same page, and I'm not sharing the audio. If they come at me for the opening credits of this, I'll be surprised. But just so people can see it. All right. That we're starting at the same time. All right. We got 2 hours and 28 minutes on the clock and 4 seconds. But honestly, it's like 20 minutes of that is credits.
Yeah.
So, all right. 3, 2, 1, go. It always brings me joy when I see the Walt Disney symbol. Like, I know. Even the older ones, like before it was like like a 3D roller coaster going through and get to the castle like it is now.
Oh yeah.
Like the two-dimensional barcode almost. I'm fine with that. Oh, I should probably pull up YouTube on my phone, so that if there's comments in the chat.
Oh yeah, I need to do that too.
I can do that, because otherwise I got it full screen right now. Like it's not. Yeah. So I do like how this starts more menacing, because you actually see the planes about to drop the bomb.
Yeah, I've got this as one of my differences.
I like this. It's more of the showing instead of telling via movie. Man, the audio is actually pretty good considering, because I can hear you fine on top of hearing.
Yeah, same here. Open my YouTube.
Oh, they actually have German between the planes. Took me a second. I mean, obviously they would have Germans. I don't think the English were bombing their own city, so. Do you know how many movies have bombings? Like, because I think of Return to Neverland, the Disney Peter Pan, that was bombing.
Oh my gosh, and when me and my daughter were watching this the other day, we were
Yeah.
just like, "Oh my g" because of what's actually real life happening, it just gave
Mhm.
us chills, and my daughter made a comment about it. I'm
Yes.
like,
Oh,
"Yeah,
that's a valid point, how movies
yeah."
can change. Oh, and here's something to note from a, writing method here. So, he you just got introduced to 3 of the kids. Edmund, Lucy, and then I'm pretty sure they said Peter's name. They didn't say the older sister's name.
Mhm.
Yeah. But this was a here's a time putting suspense, but also they're showing they're introducing you to the characters and what they're
Mhm.
coming from.
Yeah.
And you got conflict between the brothers and already setting that character arc of Edmund.
And they're doing this in literally the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Touche. We're at 2 minutes and 53 seconds. But also,
Mhm.
if you take out intros, title sequence,
Yeah,
maybe.
that
Okay,
30
so
30 seconds or
no,
so of
this
that.
is where it mirrors the 1988 version of
Mhm.
On the Train, which
And the
it's
book
actually,
also.
yes, and which I find kind of cool and interesting because I think I must have been like 12 or something. I didn't realize kids were sent away, but it makes so much sense. Like, I don't know what I thought they were doing.
Mhm.
I just had a little freak out moment. I'm jumping over to make sure I'm still not sharing my screen.
You're good, you're good.
Okay, wait. I was on my phone and I forgot to pull up YouTube. All right, come on, Natalie. We can do this. So one thing I will say that this movie did better. So the other movie, all the kids practically looked the same age,
Yes,
like a year or two
yes.
off. And I'm like, either she had quadruplets or like back to back twins or something like that. Here, they did a better job in showing like the stare children method.
Yep. Yeah, this is, like, more like how my kids actually are, like, boom, 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 like, you could tell until they all got
Mm-hmm.
the same age. Once they all got around, like, 13
Pretty
or
much,
14, it's when they
yeah.
started, like, leveling off. But, yeah,
Oh,
when they're younger, you wanna see that, like, literally, Edmund and, Peter look the same age. Actually, Edmund looked older.
oh, I love Regina's comment. She said when she was a kid, Disney, like Walt Disney, was on TV every week, and Walt Disney would host a show where he'd talk about the park and introduce sweet stories. He was lovely
Oh.
and old gentleman. He'd talk to Tinkerbell too.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
Oh, I love that. All right, so I got my phone open. Oh, I forgot to keep the ticker scrolling. Oh my goodness. So we are going to pause this at 40 minutes in. And I got a little thing of when the kids, all the kids, enter Narnia, the 40-minute mark. That way anybody watching can stop at the same point. Okay, even though this movie came out, I think, before Harry Potter, um, just any British on a train situation, I just think of Harry Potter. Like, I want someone to come around and go, anything from the trolley, dears. Yeah, what I find interesting, like, I watch Prince Caspian and the Voyage of the Dawn Treader, I think. But like this one seems to be it was the first one that came out and it was the most popular. I feel like I wish they did the other ones, but I think because the other books are not as popular,
Yeah.
therefore the movies were not going to be as popular, unfortunately. Oh my god, all these kids that we're watching are adults now. Like, and probably have their own kids.
I know, right?
I do like the music though. It kind of gives me like a modern Enya vibe, where it's like this Celtic vocal.
Yeah, it's a good mirroring, or
yes,
or just a good merging of the different
genres.
Yes,
our powers
you get
combined.
the fantasy, a little historic, but it has that modern feel also.
Yes. Well, at least we know the CGI is going to be better than the 1988 version.
Yeah.
Who's afraid more, Mrs. McCready, or the kids? Because, okay, the oldest daughter, I still forget her name. I don't think it's even been said yet.
Susan,
thank you. Wow, how did I miss that? But Susan's face sometimes she's got RBF a little bit. Or no, is that? Yeah, RBF. Yeah. But in that moment, she's looking up, and I think they wanted her to be like, you mistrust Miss McCready. Like you're hesitant about this whole thing. It sucks. So, chat. Sorry. Mama Maggie's here. Yes, this movie also stayed much closer to the source material, I will admit. But also, I feel like both movies were really, really close.
Yeah.
Forgot how much I love this movie, and Morgan's watching from work. Sorry, I just called you out in the chat and verbally. So now it's forever there. And then Ben was saying, what are you talking about? Hand-drawn ghosts is where it's at. And then Mama Maggie agreed with me. She did have RBF. But I honestly think that's the director guiding her of like, you don't trust her. But unfortunately, by that mistrust on her face, or hesitancy, she comes across like, I think I'm better than you. You got to prove yourself to me. Like here, she's fine. She's smiling at Lucy. You can see the care. You see the sibling bond here between Susan, Peter, and Lucy, and Edmund is already singled out.
Yep.
Like he is, you already, it's setting that seeds to where you can kind of understand Edmund's motives for, sorry, spoiler alert, his betrayal later.
Yeah. If this is a spoiler for anybody, well, no, Morgan's seen it, right? It's just been a long time.
Yeah, I should have had a spoiler warning at the beginning of this. Yeah, I agree with Mama Maggie. I wish they would have made all of them, but at least we got Prince Caspian and such, which those could be future episodes, but honestly, we could even touch on why did they not do so well? Was it something between the book and the movie on Prince Caspian and the Voyage of the Dawn Treader? Yeah, okay. Morgan says she's seen all of them. Okay. Okay, this music is of the time. I love
this.
Yeah. Oh, Johnny. Got it. Oh, come on, you could have hid behind the curtain. Why is Edmund struggling so much? It's hide and seek.
Yeah, curtains, especially in a place like this, curtains are perfect because there's so many. Are they really going to check every curtain?
Yeah, there's so many curtains, and also, like, they probably even go past the floor, so it's not one of those situations where they're just above. And see, what's better with those curtains than the other ones you were looking at, Edmund?
Exactly. Loki, calm.
And then the setting, it's serious when music stops, or there's like a crescendo in the music. Music is such a guiding beacon of how you should feel while watching. Okay, that was so CGI, and I don't know why the bug was necessary, honestly.
Yeah,
I don't know why they needed that shot.
Yeah, I'm like, because sometimes I think, was the bug there to no, because I'm like, it could have come out the window. It was summertime, but what is it trying to say that, there's something else. Or a cold draft. I don't know.
No. This part I love. I don't know how many times they had to do slow-mo, pull the drapery off, but it conveyed that whimsy, that like fantasy and stuff to watch it float. What, it just fell out? Pearls?
Mothballs, I believe.
Oh, interesting. Right. Barrett's here as well. Yeah, Mama Maggie said the problem was that there was just too much content to compress into a 2-hour movie. Mm-hmm. Each book has such a huge world build beyond Narnia. And the bug was in the book as causing him anxiety. Huh, really?
Did I miss that?
Is that in the book?
That's why I'm like, did I miss that? But it could have been something I wasn't really paying attention to. But it did mention a lot about them like being very anxious. So
it's okay, Barrett. We will welcome you tomorrow. I'm sure you've seen the movie. You don't have to stay in chat. Thank you for stopping by, and I'm sure you've already pressed the like button. And for anyone else, please press the like button. They'll let us know if we should do this again. But also, I'm kind of enjoying this Mystery Science Theater 3000 approach, and I might just do it in even if no one watches.
Yeah.
So fun. Okay, Mama Maggie said it was one line, she thinks. I don't have the physical book with me. I ended up doing an audiobook on this one. So.
Yeah, and I have the physical books, but I'm one of those, I don't like broken spines. So if I can keep my books, I'm like.
Yeah. Love you all.
But yeah. Speaking of all of the content, my son, who is an avid reader, he was like, why didn't they start with the magician's nephew? And I'm like, nobody's going to know what that is except for you and those of us who like to read a whole lot.
But that was technically the first one.
It's, because it's, I guess they call it a prequel. But for most of us, even myself, I started with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe in first grade when my teacher was reading it to us.
Yeah, I remember my teacher reading it to us, and I never really got into the books. Like, I think I got into the movies. I was like, yeah, sure, fine. But I just found it annoying. But also, I think it's because my exposure was the BBC version. And even as a kid in the 90s, it wasn't good. What? Yeah. Professor X? So I liked this interaction more between than the 1988 version of Mr. Thomas and Lucy.
Yeah, I'm taking all of these notes because this was good. All right. I've already told you about the washing machine, so I got to do the whole thing.
Okay.
For just a sec.
Don't worry, I can talk to myself. I'm with myself all the time. So I will say, the fawn was a little more believable this go around. Oh, Loki, I don't need you to chime in. But the fawn was more believable this go around, obviously, because technology and CGI. Because in the 1988 version, it was just like a guy threw on furry pants.
Yes, you could tell it was furry pants.
Yeah. But here, I mean, we got fur on the body, and actually, the other guy, I think he was just
fur
hairy.
On the body. Yeah, was it just hairy, or did they glue fur onto his?
They could have also glued fur. He was very hairy. He was
more hairy.
He was very hairy.
We need to take screenshots to compare
side by side. All right.
Well, I love this introduction more. So I've got specific notes I want to take on this.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I'm watching it again.
Yeah, me too. So Morgan said she started with Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, but not until the 4th grade. They had a whole big series on it. Teacher made Turkish Delight for us, which, by the way, the Turkish Delight.
Yes. Okay. We got
This is one of my pet peeves. So people don't know, like, about really, they know humans exist, but they don't really know much about the human world. I mean, they constantly are like, wait, you're a daughter of Adam, or a daughter of Eve, son of Adam. Like, they all constantly ask these questions. But yet the queen, like, I kind of wanted to know more about her story because she's familiar with humans, and even she had to get verification. But yet she knows what Turkish Delight is, which I'm assuming originated in the human world. So how can you have this dish that is uniquely human? Also,
and this is where I'm wondering, is it because other daughters of Eve and sons of Adam have come, like the professor.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into it a little bit.
Yes.
So I've got my speculations. So let me write down that I have speculations about this.
Okay.
Because it's very stark that how would they get Turkish delight? So I'm gonna write this down to make a note of that.
Ben makes a good point. So much of the magician's nephew is based on the knowledge of what's to come. Without it, the story doesn't stand as well on its own.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, Morgan is Turkish delight. And then the line, "The Witch and the Wardrobe." I'm just going to say LWW, or LWs. So LWs does set the world building very well in the book as well. Mama Maggie says, Lewis said the buzz of the bugs is to remind them that the high-pitched sound of the smaller spotted planes that came before the bombers and how they react to sounds after being subjected to night bombings. Other humans have come into the world, she also said. Yeah, I know they're... But, okay, in the book, they brought up that I think even Mr. Thomas says, I haven't seen a human, or something. Like, they know they exist, but they're like, in my lifetime, one hasn't been to Narnia and stuff. But then there's the whole time-space continuum situation between time in Narnia versus time in the human world.
Mm-hmm.
So
I also have a theory about that. Let me write down that.
You're welcome. I'm at least guiding you. I had I still have a crush on that actor. God, he's so good.
Okay, so it wasn't just me, which is the complete opposite feeling that I have from the other guy. Which,
yeah. No, this guy, I totally had a crush on.
Like, don't talk to strangers, even though I'd already read the book.
I know. No, that was a thought that crossed my mind. I'm like, what little kid is like, oh, hi. Like, even though you're a magical creature, I trust you. Like, first off, we have the instilled fear with kids usually of don't talk to strangers, but also don't touch wild animals. And here we have someone who's both. So I'm just saying, like.
Yeah, Lucy is very, very trusting.
Oh, man. Wait, they make a nod they make him more in depth of how his father, he's nothing like his father.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I didn't pay attention to the picture. Was the picture? No, I don't think so. I was going to say it would be great nod to the 1988 version if the picture was of...
Oh, yes. If the picture had been the other one from the BBC or something like that. That would be cool. Really cool.
So this whole concept of over 100 years, there's never been a Christmas. And I guess it's just one of those other things. And maybe it's because of Christmas that they're able to know Turkish delight. But because Christmas is one of the things that transcends between the human world and...
Because Christmas is a magical holiday anyway.
Yes.
Santa Claus is magical, so...
So I like the evolution of the conversation a lot more than the first one, because the first one was like he almost spilled the beans and then he was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna play." And like he just started playing. Like it seems shady all the time, whereas this seems comfortable and actually like he's not at risk of slipping. I would love, like, I need more powers of like, hey, I want like to show a story in 3D through like fire, snow blowing in the wind, what have you. Oh, okay. Mama Maggie said, theoretically, a generation passes in hours in Narnia compared to the real world. So that creates suspense, and we kind of get a little brush, and we wonder if for anybody who hasn't read the books, you would sit there and assume maybe the line is bad, because at this point we have no reason to mistrust Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
I thought it was always spelled F-A-W-N, not F-A-U-N. Wonder if it's one of those British spellings. I swear, watching this as an adult, that line hits a lot harder. Of I'm kidnapping you. It's something I'm doing. Like showing remorse when you're already in the middle of it is an interesting concept to me. Wait, that's how I thought it was Thomas, like T-H-O-M-S.
Tumnus.
Oh my God. This is the
with M-N-U-S.
This is the issue of audiobooks and stuff. So I do like this concept of like you're not safe anywhere situation. Like the woods is full of spies. Even the trees are on her side. He knows he won't be.
Which I feel like the trees were getting a bad rap, because the trees could have totally ratted him out here if they wanted to.
Very true. Valid. Like if we're going to put personality to these objects.
There might be like one or two bad trees, but they're like, we're a whole forest of trees, you know, and none of us have been telling. And everybody's like, the trees are, and I'm like, the trees need a little bit more credit that they are not a monolith.
Yeah. I will say what's kind of annoying, and I kind of feel this in the movie Zootopia, but really, we don't shut doors? Okay. But this whole, the predators are on, oh my God, that's so funny. I love this layout. Okay, but predators are the bad guys, like that predispose, and they are on the side of the queen in this. Dun dun dun.
Yeah. But I do like how they tried. They're like, okay, let's go see, you know.
Oh, by the way, I will say this movie and all the movies made me want a fur coat. I don't want to kill the animals. I'll take faux fur, but I want a fur coat.
They just make them look so warm.
They do. Oh my God. Because I would sit here. I was watching the 1988 version, and I'm like, got my space heater on. I got a blanket over me. I had an older sibling like that. It's like the moment my parents left the house, she was always like, oh, hey, I'm in charge. And I'm like, okay, cool story, bro. Like, no, you're not. Like, as the key is to keep me from dying. That's it. Like, that's your realm of responsibility. And if I'm playing video games, I'm not dying. We're good. Well, might be dying in the video game, but yeah. So here's a thought I had, especially in the 1988 version. So hours have passed, and they didn't show this in the 1988 version, but Lucy pretty much slept in Narnia. So is her circadian rhythm completely off, and she can't fall asleep tonight? Like, you're supposed to think, oh, it's suspenseful because she Hello, socks, wool socks, come on.
She knows it's going to be cold too. Come on.
Yeah, you got time. But either way, like, who has like the sleep? I like, that's my thing. It's like time space continuum, totally get it, but how does it affect the individual person? Sorry, I focus on the science of this stuff. It's just me. Okay, here's what I find curious. And by the way, I love that showing by the candle blowing out. But here's what I find curious is, what time frame is the wardrobe open to Narnia? You know? Because it was during the day in the human world, and then during the day in the Narnia, and then she came back in at night.
Yeah. And so what time?
Like, when's the door open?
It's like, how many days are going by in the amount of time that they're having one day? Like what Maggie was saying, how generations pass in hours.
Yeah. Well, and then also, the thing that bugs me with this, people fall all the time in shows and movies. Like, we're actually not that uncoordinated, I promise.
Speak for yourself. I'm thinking they're not falling enough. Like, I tripped on the right night.
Like, I mean, I'll talk to people while we're walking and I'll stumble, but this whole, like, I'm already...
Like, full fall.
Yeah, but like a full fall on my back situation, I'm just like, no. Get a jacket. My God, I'm such a parent.
Like, I wouldn't even be able... I'd be like, this is really cool, but I'm staying in this wardrobe where it's warm.
Yeah, like
grabbing a coat. Like I could never.
The way I am when my dogs are outside and it's cold and I poke my head and I'm like, dogs. Oh, no, not coming yet. Close the door. Just sit here. I'm staying inside. Drink my hot chocolate. That's what I should make during the break. I'm gonna switch over to my other headphones, my AirPods, and make some hot chocolate while we talk.
I was thinking tomorrow. I was like, I can make a hot chocolate and Turkish delight, and then I was like, yeah, nah, no one's gonna.
What no one's gonna eat in Turkish delight?
It's just it's like gelatin, sugar, and whatever flavor that you want it to be. So it's like not quite as jelly as gelatin or jelly, but not quite as gooey as a gumdrop. So, or not as stiff as a gumdrop. It's gooier than a gumdrop, and then you roll it up and you like shake it around in powdered sugar. So when you bite it, it's like a gushy gumdrop with powdered sugar on it.
Yeah,
but you can make them more cakey. So sometimes some people will make them more cakey, but they're really like jelly, like a like a gooey kind of.
I love her rendition. Like, okay, so here's the difference: is that she already knew he was son of Adam here. So to me, that strengthens any story of maybe she was in or interacted with humans before. Also, the lines that were in the 1988 version of like, how dare you speak to a queen this way? Sorry, I didn't know. Right now, the queen looks to be in a good light because it was her driver that was like, oh, you're going to remember after this that, and stuff like that. So I right now, she looks like the person that stopped her driver from almost killing him. And so she seems like the savior, the nice person. You can kind of understand Edmund's trust.
Yeah.
But seriously, stranger danger, people. What the hell? Tilda Swinton. Yep. Oh my God, Ben, I totally agree that the witch in the 1988 version, she was way overacting.
Yeah,
it was
almost over the top. My son said it was so campy. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Like, she was over the top, like over enunciated. I'm going to try it now a little bit. Over enunciated her mouth. And then it's almost made it seem like her voice was a voiceover after the fact to match her mouth or something like that. Like, just because her voice itself was kind of soft and quiet a little bit at times, but but then her face was like as if she was constantly yelling. Oh my god, I just realized what this scene makes me think of. The movie The Witches, when I think it's Brutus, Bernard or something, the little kid ends up eating all the snacks and goodies at and then he ends up getting promised chocolate by the witches and turned into a mouse.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think of the kid's name though. But that's what this scene makes me think of, is like it's taking a trope really of give little boys food and they will become your puppets. I'm like, what the hell? Edmund has mommy issues. Something Maggie said. Bad actors ruin good books. Mom Maggie said that is very true. Well, and even when they take liberties, because I will say, not that we're touching on this movie yet, but in Twilight, Jacob in the book is not the same Jacob in the movie.
Yeah,
they tried to make him seem more mature in the movie, which makes you almost forgive him. Whereas in the book, he's like acts like an utter child and does not take no for an answer. Okay, so this entire interaction was better than 1988 version. You have the queen who actually seems nice, seems good, and almost like a savior.
Yeah, I definitely put that as one of my notes. So when you see me looking down, I'm taking notes of as I remember the differences.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking at my phone every now and then. Bravo to Edmund for not like spilling the beans, but at the same time, I wish he didn't have to share what he experienced, but I wish he trusted what other people experienced more so. We're about 5 minutes away from the first stopping point, by the way. He's like, why are you bringing me in this? No, I didn't see the fawn, in all honesty. Okay, this part I am always confused about. And my assumption is that Edmund didn't want to disclose what he actually was doing in there. Like that he actually followed her. Aw. I don't know what to do with my hands. I'll wake up in the middle of the night for hot chocolate.
I mean, right? Sorry if you hear that. Loki is sleeping. He hums. He either snores, sometimes he hums. He's humming now in his sleep.
So I will say I like the professor. In like this is their first time interacting with him here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whereas in the 1980 version, I liked his interaction with the kids when he's standing there and he's like, you know what? The kids don't want to eat with an old fuddy-duddy like me.
Yeah.
Let them eat in there. And the kids
I
smiled.
almost have that exact quote written down as the difference.
And I thought that was so like sweet and smart to be that conscious
and
stuff like that. And I love this miscommunication.
Yep.
I just love this situation where the more adult person in the room believes in this magical world than the children. And the children are going, wait a second, should we believe? Dropping the wisdom. That includes Edmund in that line, by the way. They're talking about Lucy, but I wish.
Yeah. That.
No. You need to aim better. Those balls hurt. I would be just as mad at Peter. I wouldn't be like, oh, and then especially him going, whoops. No, that's not how you apologize to someone that you just hit. It doesn't matter if they were daydreaming or not. You rear end someone in your car because they were daydreaming. You're still at fault. You know? Oh, shit.
They get in there so fast before the McCready.
I know. She would have. Oh, yeah. Valid point there. So I do like another. I mean, they've already talked about how big this place was. I think it was Peter talking to Lucy, going, "Hey, this place is huge. I saw it from the outside. You know, we can explore and stuff like that." Yeah. So this whole scene makes me think a little bit like Pepe Le Pew, where Miss McCready is Pepe Le Pew. Oh my god, why does it seem that problematic? Like, what is the response of you got to be joking? So this is foreshadowing right here, right? All right. All right. And pause. Just as they fall. 40 minutes on the dot. Oh, wow. All right. So, lots of points that we've covered so far. And everything. I will say, something that between the 1988 version and this version, 1988 version, like, I was like, oh my god, I'm 4 episodes in, and I feel like nothing's happened. Because it's done in episodes, and it threw me off too. I totally forgot that. And I was like, I'm 4 episodes in, and I feel like nothing's happened. Now I'm 40 minutes in, and each episode was like 30 minutes.
Yeah, 30 minutes.
27 or something like that. But now 40 minutes in, I'm like, this has been exciting. We've gotten better with our storytelling and what we like as a culture.
Yeah. Because this is still going to be 2 hours. And I think watching the old one, it was what, 2.5 hours?
It was 3.
Was it 3?
Mm-hmm. It was like 2 hours and 52 minutes, if I remember correctly. And I skipped. Like, the moment the credits came up, I'm like scrolling across.
So did I. That's why I was like,
let's go. Come on. But yeah, it was a bit long. All right. So Ben said, to be fair, he knows intrinsically of Narnia. Because isn't he supposed to be what's the word? Isn't he supposed to be like the magician's nephew or something? Like, he's been there. Anything. I just find it interesting, this whole concept that these people go to Narnia, these kids and such, but then all of a sudden they're not allowed in Narnia, almost like Neverland. Like if you're an adult, you're probably not going, only kids go.
Mhm.
And I find that interesting and confusing at the same time, because I'm like, well, why? Like, and especially because later it's mentioned the wardrobe is not going to be the way that you can go
Right.
in again. And I'm like, how do you know? Why? And why was the wardrobe held this whole time if it's not? I don't know. There's a lot of ins and outs, like, and I break apart the science of this stuff. It's just how I operate.
Yeah, like as a kid, you just really kind of just go with it.
Yeah.
And then as an adult, you're like, but why and where? And how does the professor know? Has he been there? You want to know all the answers.
Yeah.
You know?
So I will say, I feel this movie did well setting up Edmund's character so far, because we've got how he gets singled out. Sometimes it's of his own volition. Other times it's because his family gangs up on him. Like, I mean, Peter hitting him with the ball, going, "Whoops! It's a freaking ball. It's hard."
Yeah,
and stuff like that. Like, so that was set up pretty well. And then, but then other times when he just flat out goes, "I'm sorry, I encouraged Lucy," and running back and getting the picture at the very beginning and such, like, and things like that is interesting. And I feel like they definitely, with this movie, they worked the family angle more, family dynamic and stuff. And especially now that Susan and Peter are being told, "Hey, trust your sister. You know, she doesn't play make believe all the time, does she? No. All right. Well, then she's not crazy either. Like, trust her." So I feel that this movie touches on the family dynamic better, and it's fast paced because honestly, 40 minutes in, I feel like more stuff happened than, but it's still staying true to the book, I will say.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's already, you can see little differences, but it's like they don't even matter to get it to go through as quickly as it is. They're doing really good.
Yeah. The next segment, one thing I'm going to talk about will be when around when Christmas starts to arrive. That segment is because there was a line in the book and it pissed me off. And so and I don't think they said it in the 1988 version. I think they already changed it, but I'm gonna see if they mention it in this one as but so far we got the music is on point, setting the time period, the mood, what you should be feeling, even the absence of music is setting it. The cinematography, yeah, we didn't quite understand the bug situation, but that is a good nod pull that Mom Maggie talked about from the book.
Yeah, I wrote that down too because that's something I hadn't really thought about. So I like that.
Mama and Maggie brought yeah, she said bad books. So Morgan said, "I always thought that Narnia was just there when you needed it." Oh, kind of like Nanny McPhee situation.
Yeah, Nanny McPhee.
Thank you. And then Ben said, "Kids believe in magic, whereas adults tend not to." Very true. Like after there's been so many movies where like after you pass the age of innocence,
you're like, "Oh, I must have just made that up or thought that up or something." It's like I don't believe it was real anymore.
And then Morgan brought up, so maybe the wardrobe is how the professor also got in and he saved it. So maybe it's not the wardrobe itself closes, it's you're past a certain age, which is odd though, because we're talking about siblings who are all different ages. So Lucy being the youngest is now all of a sudden not allowed.
Yeah. I have theories.
Ooh, I can't wait. All right. You ready to press play? So I'm exactly, if anybody is watching this on the rewatch, I'm exactly 40 minutes in on the dot. In 3, 2, 1, part 2, play. I do like this sense of wonder and everything. Oh, but can I just mention they both fell into the world again? Like the only person who can walk apparently is Lucy because she never once fell. Oh, we're not going to have a whoops. Okay, listen. I've been in a few snowball fights. Let me just say, no face shots.
Yeah, those sting. Right in the face.
You apologize too, Peter. I got some bad news for you, Lucy. Oh my God.
It also looks like the warmest one, though, Edmund, so.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going back to the modern whimsical
music, yeah.
Music, yeah. So what I liked about this is, and this was good imagery in the book, where it said the fur coats were practically looked like dresses because it was at their feet.
Yep.
I'm just saying, if you're going to play and stumble in the snow, the coat is useless by now. So this is what I liked. They kind of increased the pace with this movie versus the 1988 version. I'm just going to say older version.
Yeah, I was like, how long did this whole thing go on?
Because she like visits a second time with him and then leaves and comes back. And then like it's the third time that she goes and visits. So I liked this one where it was miss him. She missed him the second time. Like they only saw each other once. Oh God. The old movie, I hated the talk over at the same time with the like dog face on it.
So like there's so many weird things. Like I just
roaring human roaring, and I'm like, what the hell? Oh, Mama Maggie's got to head out. It's okay, dear. We appreciate it. All right. Oh, Mama Maggie brought up maybe the wardrobe's like the room of requirement, and Lucy doesn't need Narnia anymore. And then Ben said, in the face. And then Mama Maggie said, or maybe the witch doesn't want Lucy to come back because of her heart. Though the witch was taken care of, if I remember.
Yeah, the witch is apparently never going to come back again.
Yeah. And then she's got to head out, have a lovely day. And then Ben said, so they talk to strangers and animals and enter a house clearly broken into. Yeah, like any other movie or show, like you enter a house that's clearly broken into, that's going to be one of those odd situations where someone's going to catch you in that house and be like, oh, you broke into it. It's like, no, I found it this way. Like, and then it becomes that type of trope.
Yeah. Or the person that's doing the damage is still there.
Oh, like, yeah, that one.
Check to make sure that no one's in there.
Yeah. Here's the interesting part if we're talking dynamic. See, Edmund is left standing by himself. Lucy and Susan go hug.
They're clinging to Peter.
So we got another imagery here of Edmund kind of being left out, but it could be he's left out versus he's not choosing to stand with them. Oh, I love the sarcasm here. I'll let it play.
It's okay, Lucy.
Oh. They never said the last name, did they?
Lucy did when she introduced herself to Tumnus.
Okay.
So let me Let me see if washing machine is here. New washing machine. Really quick.
Okay. Well, I can just say I very much enjoyed the beavers more in this movie than the other one.
Really quick, yes. The beavers. Oh my gosh. I've got a whole thing on the beavers.
Now, I will say in the audiobook, the voice actor, who's actually a British actor that does the voiceovers, he did very well with the voices of the Beaver and Mrs. Beaver and stuff like that. And I thought it was very wonderful. And I felt that they kind of almost use that as inspiration for the characters here. There's a lot of walking in this movie, so it's definitely hard to understand how big Narnia is and how much time it's taken up. Because it seemed a lot faster in the other movie getting to the dam, as well as it seemed faster in the book. So this movie might be a better way of conveying the time. So I like that line of, like, if I find you've been out with Badger again, it's like, what are they doing? Like, clawing up trees or something like that? Like... I'm just saying, they took the trope of, like, the banter between couples, but by Mr. Beaver laughing, you know it's kind of just how they are, and they like each other. But other times, they take that trope, and it's actually the you ask yourself, why are they married? But you don't think that here. I honestly... Okay, this is one of my pet peeves with indoor scenes. There needs to get as much light as they have here. They need more candles. You see a lot of candles lit, but this would not light the room as you see it and clearly see their faces, at least not by a human eye to pick up the amount of light they see. And here's another situation of Edmund not at the table. So we got more imagery of Edmund being separated from the siblings. And so now this is in the book too, it would be an info dump of the entire conversation of who Aslan is, where they need to go to the stone table. Okay, I had a parenting moment. Okay, so now we're hearing about the prophecy, which is, by the way, let's face it, is a chosen one trope. I didn't write the prophecy. It's not supposed to rhyme. Don't come at me. Ooh, that's a nice line of Mom sent us away so we wouldn't get caught up in a war. They are running from a war, and then they find themselves in a war in Narnia. So one thing that I find annoying, but it also makes sense, is that so Susan and Peter are always like this, the adults of the siblings. And I completely am fine with that, because they probably feed off each other a little bit and feel validated because the other sibling adult is standing with them. But now they realize Edmund's gone. And all this time, we have been planting seeds throughout the story of why Edmund feels the need to go off. And honestly, the one thing that I don't like, I do like the setup of you don't know when Edmund left, but I don't like the setup of what is the thing that sets Edmund's off where he's like, all right, I'm going to leave. I just don't get that part at all. Now, this was not in the book or in the second movie, or I mean the first movie, the older movie. The siblings did not follow Edmund. I do like this give and take. All right, because in this whole situation, Edmund, they watch Edmund go into the castle, and I'm kind of glad they added that in there, because by watching him go into the castle, you show the three siblings who have been shunning Edmund like almost the whole hour, not hour, 51 minutes of this movie. They've been shunning him, and they now, man, I can't talk while it's talking in my ear. They shun him, and now they're actually, you show them care. For once, like they actually, the siblings have a redeeming quality, or they see something redeeming in Edmund where they actually care about him. Oh, God. All right. Okay. All right, Ben, you do make a good point that when a story starts the trope, it gets a pass. Unfortunately, it doesn't, it makes it almost not age well a little bit because it started the trope, and we kind of forget timelines because we think of stories as timeless. We think that they are going to be fine. Now, one thing that I like. All right. One thing I do like about this whole scene is in the book and even in the older movie, Edmund, his character comes out and he becomes like an annoying little prick. That was straight from the book, him stepping over the wolf. Oh God, and the wolf is 10 times better than the 1988 version. But you don't see Edmund poking fun at the stone statues going, yeah, not so tough now, like a little freaking child. You don't see that. And I'm so glad they took that out because, oh my God, it was annoying. Like, it made me hate Edmund. In the book and the older version, I actually hated Edmund. This movie, Edmund has more redeeming qualities. Edmund is, you almost feel for him because his siblings pick on him. And so he has a better arc for that. In the older versions, in the book and such, he doesn't have very many redeeming qualities, I'll be honest, in my opinion. Oh, that fur looks very comfortable. Don't sit in the throne, child. Like, you're just asking for trouble. The passive aggressiveness of the queen. Your sister's deaf. Is your brother unintelligent? Then why are you here alone? No, you didn't ask so little of him. You asked him to betray his familial bond. Good God, the gaslighting. Okay, what is in this Turkish delight? I feel like I have to have some. I don't think he's getting num-nums. You usually don't get escorted with a knife with num-nums. Did we not set a plan? Wait. Was he listening in with his doggy ears the whole time? Okay, fine. Wolf ears. The whole time to know exactly where to go? Because in the book and the movie, pretty much the older movie, the queen had to reiterate like what the plan was of, hey, you need to do this, that, and the other. Now it's, you know what to do. Yeah, Morgan, pretty much Edmund did sell out his siblings for Turkish Delight. Okay, so I love the banter back and forth. And I especially love the filmography here. So what I like about this movie, more so than the book and the older movie, is that we got the sense of urgency thanks to editing here. But we also have a sense of urgency of the packing. Whereas in the book and the older movie, it was like Mrs. Beaver was able to take all the time she wanted in the world to get this done. And I find that quite interesting that they were able to take all the time. No. Yeah, no num-nums for Edmund Morgan, just a prison cell. Because I forgot to keep the ticker scrolling, just to let you know, we are watching until the hour 19-minute mark, which is just after Edmund is interacting with the queen and the fox. So throwing that out there. And actually, let me edit my still. Just after Edmund. All right. There. So now I have my ticker for our timestamp that we're going to stop at. Was it Badger? Mom. All right, I'm switching my audio over to my AirPods so I can maneuver here. Luckily, I've seen this movie before, so listening in won't be too big of a deal. Now, all right. Okay. He says, smell them out when they were just nearby and he couldn't smell them. Like, let's work within the rules we've set up for the world. And if the rules don't work, you figure it out while you're drafting editing and make it so that the rules work in the world. Just saying. I love that line. God, what is that actor's voice that does the fox? Okay, the actor played in My Best Friend's Wedding as Julia Roberts' best friend who is gay, and then pretends to be her fiance. It'll be interesting. Okay, sorry. I'm pretty sure it's the same actor. I'll see you guys' chats in a second. I'm making I'm making my son some milk. Edmund's regretting his life choices. See, this is why young adult doesn't quite work. Because Edmund doesn't think that far ahead, and that's usually the semblance of a child, is someone who doesn't think of their actions that far ahead. I got your note, Nia, that you're still taking notes and just listening into the story, which, like we said, you've said before. So I do like, because this was not in the book of what's it called? Of Edmund like befriending someone else in the chamber or the jail cell and stuff. So I like this touch. I can't even tell if my kids have my nose or not. How can complete strangers go, oh yeah, I know y'all were related. Yeah, because you have the same nose. Like, dear Lord. It's especially annoying in movies of showing semblances because you know most people that are hired for a movie, they do not have the same features as what is supposed to be their mother, father, or sibling because they're not related outside the movie in real life. Okay, I will give Edmund a little bit more play here because he is like slow playing the queen and not giving her all the information of what he knows up front. Whereas in the older movie and the book, he like just laid out, well, this is what I know. I don't know anything else. Please don't kill me. Oh, honey, she doesn't like you like that. Oh. I like that little smirk the queen did right after he says, I believe in a free Narnia. And she's like, yeah, I totally see that you like that. But no, you're here because Edmund totally outed you unbeknownst to him. But here's the thing. Okay, a relation. So in the book and in the older movie, the Mr. Thomas was like, hey, I betrayed you. I've been in cahoots with the queen, but that was before I met you, before I grew to like you and as a person, and because I never met a human before. So now that I've met a human, I feel bad for my actions. Here, Edmund did the exact same thing, where he didn't feel bad for his actions until he met the person he betrayed. And this is continuous, not just in any movie or book, but it's also in real life where people don't, until the person that they're wrongdoing has a face, they imagine and lie to themselves that this person doesn't exist or that it's not going to hurt anyone because the hurt does not have a face. Once you put a face to it, then people feel bad. Oh no, stone. Sorry, I'm making lunch for my daughter, her friend who spent the night last night, as well as I made lunch for myself. What's for lunch, you might ask? Pizza rolls, because my inner 10-year-old is living it up. Or let's just make this 2005, where my inner 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16. Okay. So I will say between the older movie and the book and stuff and this movie, the common theme is the queen is going and she says, let's get the sleigh without the bells. Of course they say sludge, but we'll call it a sleigh.
Yeah, they call it sledge, which always trips me out.
Yeah, because I think a sledge like sludge. But anyway. So I did like that touch of no bells. That was like
yeah.
Good.
But they wouldn't know that.
Yeah, true. But I also like here this entire scene. It is not in the older movie or even the book, but I love this is what Hollywood does. They dramatize it. They make it more tight.
They really ramp up the intensity and the danger of it. And to the point of, when he starts feeling empathy, I think that's part of the reason why they tell you if you are kidnapped or something like that, you want to try and tell the person about yourself to try and get them to
humanize.
To humanize yourself in their eyes, to try and, lessen the chance that they will actually harm you.
That is true. But then also sometimes it pisses them off. They say sometimes you want to learn more about them, but then of course they're going to be kind of closed off. Yeah, some movies get whispering wrong. Like it's too quiet, or it's like, dude, you're not whispering. This movie actually does whispering pretty okay. You actually believe they are whispering, and you just happen to be watching it. I like the little high-pitched scream.
We're not at the...
Nope, we're not there yet.
Okay.
No, it's going to be 119, and we're at 108.
Okay, right I had my screen minimized, so it was showing 119 as how much was left. So we're halfway there.
Yep.
Oh, I got to go on mute again.
Oh, you're good. I've been doing fine just talking to myself. Well, I think I've been doing fine. We'll find out. If anybody comments and says so. Or, God, Natalie talks so much, I swear. All right. Okay. How is Santa supposed to be like, what's the word? Like Switzerland and not take parts? Like she's been pushing him away. She didn't allow him to be a part of Narnia, but now her magic's going away and he's joining. Why is he not fighting? Like that's the part that I'm confused. Like he has magic. Now, I will say the depiction of the gifts and how they're wrapped and how they're displayed I have props for the prop department here. Yes, I had to go a pun here. And because it looks believable. Whereas in the 1988 version, it all looks like plastic. But this one actually looks like leather, looks like metal. Like they did a little bit better. And then it helps with the acting too, to show a little bit of weight. Oh, I wonder if they're going to say the line. I love how he didn't address that line whatsoever, but also our ugly affairs. So, my pet peeve that was in the book is that pretty much it was said battles are ugly affairs, if I remember correctly, when women get involved. And I'm like, what? Like, it's not good when women are involved in battle and war. Like, the line pissed me off. It did not age well whatsoever. Because I know there's people that have that mentality today of like, women shouldn't be in the military, women shouldn't be in leadership positions or whatever, because we're emotional and stuff. Sorry. It's one thing that drives me crazy. But I am glad they didn't have the line here. It would have been a resemblance of the time period they're in. But at the same time, I'm happy we've grown up past that. Which means the war is about to begin once winter is over. Yeah, I'm sure everyone is sick and tired of this entire world of snow and ice. I live in the north and I get tired of the snow and ice. Okay. I love the lines. No danger. You're just trying to be realistic. No, you're just trying to be smart, as usual. Yeah. So one of the lines I like to use is I say when someone says, "Ah, don't be a smartass," I just look at them and go, "Well, don't be a dumbass." My lunch is almost done, so I should be eating soon. My son's eating, my daughter and her friend are eating. I'm doing this adulting thing pretty darn well today. That's another great line. You get a sneaking second helping out of here. Oh no, which one's going to be your last? All right. Thank God your mother's not there. She would have. See, that's the thing. If a parent was exploring in Narnia, I think they would have stepped out, saw the snow and everything, and be like, nope, and go back inside. I feel like we don't explore very much as adults. We stick to the patterns. I say that we stick to the patterns, and immediately, with them being on a waterfall, I'm starting to sing the song Waterfalls by TLC. Don't drop the sword, ever. I mean, don't cut him, in my opinion, but don't. I mean, though if he pounces, yeah, cut him. Okay, how did he know that this sword would sit in the ice and not split the ice? Because that stabbing motion could have very well split the ice. I just realized that my microphone was not on my AirPods. So I was saying stuff while walking a few times, and I totally forgot what I said. And it's not recorded now. Oh well. the hell? Oh, it's Lucy's jacket. Okay. Gotta build suspense. Well, your coat isn't gonna do much when it's sopping wet. I'm just saying. Oh, we got some chat. Ben, I agree. We don't need physics in movies, at least not human physics. I was far away at times. Sometimes I was in the kitchen. Sometimes I was walking to give my daughter stuff. But we at least need to follow the physics of the movie. So some of the lines that I thought were great was like the banter between Mrs. Beaver and Mr. Beaver. And my lunch is ready, so hold on. Oh, that reminds me of a great line or emotion that was done in the older movie. It was Edmund who was slowly taking his jacket off because it was hot. And and the queen gave him a look and he put it back on. It makes me think of parents where it's like, you're not dare taking that jacket off and making me carry it. Oh, I love that line. Okay, after this scene is when we're going to pause it, by the way. See, notice how Edmund slow played. He knew all this information ahead of time, but he's been slowly giving her the information she needs. And you're also seeing some redeeming qualities about Edmund where he's trying to save another being. Now, 1988, Edmund did the same thing, but it was almost to like save his own neck, or like he didn't want to see someone die. This was actually seemed like he wanted to save this being, not he wanted to save his innocence. All right. Now we will pause at 1:19 on the dot, right as you see the centaur's feet, actually. You don't know that it's a centaur, but trust me, it is. So, I'm grabbing a soda. Don't mean to do this. All right. Now I'm back at my computer. Running around. All right. So, family. I'll take off my picture. You gotta pause. Oh. Nia's comments. Okay. So team, and I paused it 1 hour and 19 minutes. I'll take off the ticker. So this is the second pause. The next one will actually be, we're going to finish the movie after this.
Yeah, I like the way that this scene looks. Where I've stopped at where the centaur is blowing the horn. So I think it's like a few seconds right after where you're at, because I'm at 1:19:07 in 07 seconds.
It's close enough. We don't have to be exact.
I'm a sucker
especially
for
because
scenery.
we've both seen it.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for scenery.
Oh, the overview shots are great. So the cinematography for this is much better, because the 1988 version, you could still tell it was on a soundstage a lot, and they just used like at the train station, they were using smoke and stuff so that they didn't have to.
I have so many comments from my son for tomorrow when we really get into the old one. I'm so glad that he watched it, like this generation, having this generation child watching it with me. Oh my daughter was like, no, she took one look and I was like, not doing it. But she loved watching this one.
I want my daughter to watch The Labyrinth.
Yes, we need to do that one. We need to
put that but it's not schedule. A book.
Is it not a book?
I don't believe it is.
I must look this up. I hope that it is. Or that it's based off of something that we can slide it in there.
Oh God, yeah. Well, here's something that we could do is I believe it wasn't Dark Crystal based off a book.
Oh, maybe it's the Dark Crystal that I'm thinking about.
Or no, or the Black Cauldron. There was something on our master list, which by the way I did add more to the list. Every now and then I get ideas, so I go to our Google Docs.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Then that way, instead of thinking out loud of all of our comments, what we can do is just go to that document and be like, out of this list, what do we want to do next?
I think they turned it into a novel. Does that count?
No, because we had that conversation before, and where
it's not. We did. Darn it!
Not scripting scripting the book.
Yes. Booking the script.
Yeah. So Ben says Black Cauldron by Disney was a book.
Okay, Black Cauldron. Okay, I look forward to doing that one too. So that'll work.
I used to confuse, even though I know they're two different movies, like, and one's cartoon, one's kind of puppet live action. I always confuse Black Cauldron with the Dark Crystal.
I like the puppet things that we used to have. I thought that they were so
Jim Henson was great. I watched the HBO Storytellers. Yes. Like, I watched that. That was good. I mean, I didn't really get into
I don't know if you're into like weird sci-fi, but if you've ever seen Farscape, oh my gosh, it's Jim Henson's book. It's a space. It's definitely a space opera drama. It's so it's so intense and hilarious and all campy, and they do all the romance drama stuff that a lot of people are annoyed at. They did it all. And they used puppets and costumes. And I'm like, I love that.
Ben says Black Cauldron is based loosely off the first and second novels of the Chronicles of Prydain, Prydain.
I don't think I've read those. Let me look them up. I wonder if that's something if I read those.
It'll be on the list. We'll talk about it at some point. All right. So up to this point, we are starting to see Edmund's character arc a lot better.
Yes.
In the dishwasher, kiddo.
Oh yeah. Oh, I gotta write that down because there's a difference that I really want to talk about from the old movie, and they mention it in the book, and so it's interesting to see the difference in how they do them here and versus in the movie. Let me write that down because that's definitely one that I was thinking about. Sorry about the background talking.
Oh no, that's fine. It's actually very faint. So, hold on, my daughter needs it. Okay, she was just asking for candy. They had lunch. But this, I think Edmund's character arc, you're starting to see some more redeeming qualities, and I think this movie does so much better giving him redeeming qualities than the book and the older movie. Ben says, oh yeah, Farscape was one of my binge watches of the middle of 2020. I was binge watching like back in 2016, or no, earlier than that, shoot. No, it was like 2009, and I binge watched Bewitched. I always had a thing for Samantha Stevens. So, anyway. Okay. All right. So, Edmund's character arc, much better.
Yeah. Yep.
In this movie as a whole versus the book and the older movie. CGI is better. I like, now we're starting to get more into bigger shots, wider shots, like that entire sequence with, even though it was not in the book or the older movie, the entire sequence on the river I thought was wonderful. I think one of the things that bugged me, and I'm not sure if it caught it because I don't know where I was in this house when I was ranting about it, but I was like, how did Peter know stabbing the ice was not going to split the ice? Like, I know you had to do something, but that was just
I'm all right and I'm all muted. Muted was, as I agree with you. Agreeing very loudly.
Another thing, we were talking, there was, Ben said something about the mom. And oh no, the kids were saying, mom's not here. And I was like, you know what? If mom was there, you would not be this deep into Narnia. Mom would have stepped out in the snow, been like, nope, I'm too old for this cold, and go back inside. Because that's the way we are now. It snows outside, and I'm like, I'm too old for this.
It's like, take the camera phone and take some pictures for me.
Yeah. Like, I will stand on the patio and take some pictures while y'all play, but I'm not going. Sorry, not happening.
It's too cold.
So, just saying, it would have been a lot shorter movie if mom came along.
All right, I need to help them out.
Yep, let's go ahead and play the next part. So we're starting at 1:19, or a few seconds ahead. In 3, 2, 1, play. So this is the part that I like, because it almost depicts that the trees are people and things, or there's like wood spirits and such, because you didn't get that taste before. You always said mistrust the trees, and the trees don't do anything, but they're seeing the cherry blossoms form into a semblance of a person made sense. Can I just say, I want a cheetah. I want a big cat. I want to experience seeing them just play. Oh my god, all these animals are so much better than hand-drawn animals. I'm just saying. That is a great line. Susan's like, everyone's looking at us, and then Lucy's like, maybe they think you look funny. Like, it is, to me, a solid line. Like, so many times we think other people are odd. Well, no, maybe we're odd to other people. You didn't have to draw your sword to say that statement, dude. I don't know what movies or books you were reading. Oh, he doesn't come out unless everybody's kneeling. Is that it? Is that why everyone kneeled? Okay, I will say, even though that 1988 version was pretty rough around the edges technology-wise, they did pretty good with the lion. Not too bad. Aslan here is pretty good too. The fourth or the spare, is that what we're going to call him? Is Liam Neeson the voice of Aslan? Oh my god, I'm never going to be able to watch this movie without seeing his face now. Oh wow, Peter's taking responsibility. I'm shocked. Oh, and Susan's taking responsibility too. I hope Lucy better not speak up, because honestly, Lucy is fine. She's a child. She did fine. Yep, Liam Neeson, Aslan. Just called out. I'm now looking up in the cast and see who the fox was, and it's Rupert Everett. It's who it said, but I'm trying to find out what else this guy has said or played. Oh, he was in My Best Friend's Wedding. Yeah, it is the... Oh, no, it's not the best. He wasn't the gay friend. He was the best friend. No, he was the gay friend, because he's in An Ideal Husband as well. Okay. Rupert James Hector Everett. Oh, man, his voice is so distinct and it's so smooth. Okay, sorry. Back to this. I'm just caught up on the chat. Okay. Mistrust the trees and nothing happens. It's like The Happening all over again. Oh, Morgan, you're going to have to bring me back on what did Peter do that was so awkward. Oh, when he was holding up the sword, and I was like, dude, what hell? Aslan does have a particular set of skills that make him a nightmare for people like the White Queen. I totally agree. Thank you, Ben, for that comment. Okay, splashing each other is so much better than throwing snowballs in each other's faces. Yeah, that's the way I talk to all my food is please don't run. I'm just saying, how were they able to climb up, both of them? Because they can't climb up simultaneously. And the dogs, okay, wolves, sorry, I keep calling them dogs, were unable to do it. Now, here's a great arc here. We're talking a second arc here, a second chance of where he was told that he should defend his sisters and kill the wolves back when they're at the river. But now is like his second chance at the, are you going to kill the wolf or not? Which is interesting. Which, by the way, okay, it is dumb to lunge at anyone when they got a sword pointed at you because it's just moving the hand to where it is. What do you mean after him, Aslan? You just lifted your paw off of him and let him go. Then you tell all your hype crew to go after him? Are you kidding me? Which, by the way, let me just say, that whole kill sequence so much better than the 1988 version, because the 1988 version was like on a stage, red lighting as they like circle each other, and it was weird, odd, and strange. Oh, I've got to put up the ticker. We are watching this until the credits now, by the way. So I do like that they show them getting Edmund and saving him this go around. Because in the book and the older movie, it was like just Edmund appeared back with the his siblings, was like, hey, we saved him. Like, and it was all off page. I'm glad that this is on page. God, that sky is beautiful. Sorry, I always eat on my streams. I don't know why. It's like it always hits during food time for me. And by food time, I mean any time I am like munching, snacking, snack time, lunchtime, other snack time. Okay. Aslan's little tail flick, the tip of his tail flicking. I don't know why. I'm just like, oh, kitty, I want to boop. Hey, scripting the book crew. If we're gonna do Lion King, I think we need to specify if we want the cartoon version or the live action one, CGI. Okay, so what I like about the book, the older movie, and this one is like, hey, what's done is done. We don't need to talk about it. We don't need to let Edmund feel worse about himself than he already is, or already does. I like that approach. Like, so many situations, yes, it's good to apologize where when wrongdoing is, but it's also good to just let things be in the past. You can't change them. Let's move on. Notice that sisters are staring at him like, hey, could you be a little more accepting of the prodigal son, technically, coming back? And then that's when he was like, hey, Edmund, don't go wandering off. Ha ha ha. Funny joke. We're good. I'm sorry. Peter, you're like 3 years older than Lucy, probably. I don't think their ages were ever said, but my God, Peter, like the whole children making decisions for other children is kind of annoying and everything. It's quite annoying. Especially because so many times throughout the story, Susan and Peter are seen as like the adults. So now Peter making the decision without Susan, it's like him saying, hey, we're not equals anymore in the sibling setup. So I am all for a montage of learning and getting better. And she would have not hit black the first go around. I'm just saying. It's not a throwing knife. It's a dagger. It's not a... Ugh. Throwing knives are weighted a certain way. Okay, fine. Artistic license, suspend your disbelief, Natalie, we'll be fine. Okay, first. Yes, I was like, first off, his name's not Horsey. Whoa. There's unicorns to choose from? Why did Edmund not get a unicorn? Is there only one? Is it the last unicorn? Is that a nod? How, like, what ovaries the queen has to enter the enemy camp unannounced and be like, carry me. And no one does anything? By the way, let's also highlight how strong she looks. Oh, shoot. I just realized my son needs to go to the bathroom. Hold on. Don't worry. I'm still listening. I'm just going to mute myself. So I do like the correlation between Aslan like full on roaring at the queen and then she gets scared. 1988 version was cheesy because she like literally ran away. But either way. Hands down cartoon. Oh, The Lion King. Okay, I'm remembering your comments, Ben. All right. Had some few parenting here. All right, so this is something that correlates between the movie and the book and everything. Like for some reason, hey, let's show how sad it is. So let's get the two daughters of Eve to escort Aslan to the stone table, and then let's have them watch the whole ordeal. Like to me, it's like the writing of it was just very cliche. Like they wanted to make this seem sad, so let's get an emotional character known as the female. I'll turn my camera back on. And then farewell. Thanks. Really? That's your parting words, Aslan? So what I do like here is that the girls sneak on and find out. All right. So they definitely made it seem like the like it's a crazy party in the both movies of like the witches camp pretty much. Lots of screeching and screaming and stuff. You know, this also makes me think of this march and everything. It kind of makes me think of Game of Thrones when Cersei is walking through the town with the shame. Oh, Morgan, I totally forgot about that correlation where Narnia Lion Witch and the Wardrobe is supposed to correlate to the Christian beliefs of and it's the women that help Jesus down off the cross and everything and clean him up and such. And so I definitely forgot about that part. The specific line you used was allegory. I want to make sure I mention that because I wouldn't have thought of allegory as a word to use in this instance. Oh my God. They do really well. They do really well showing like like discomfort and like almost personality of Aslan. And just, I'm trying to think of other other movies that do that with animals and everything without talking, where they just have these whines or their look and they whine a little bit. I could see that. I mean, the whole being shaved, like his mane is his symbol. Now, I will say the older movie did a better job, like foreshadowing a little bit, because they were already at the stone table, and then Aslan was like, "Oh, we need to move our camp because things are going to be happening here." It's like, really? That's your lineup? Hey, Jenna, dear, welcome. We are hour 40 minutes and 33 seconds into the movie. At the part where Aslan is at the stone table, he's already been shaved. He's laying on top, and now they're tapping some sticks. And apparently, the White Witch wears something other than white. Her outfits always have this look. I've never liked that look of dresses where it's like this rigid, almost piece of wood straight across on the front and the back. I don't like that look because in my mind, I'm like, what's holding it up? Okay, so there's this whole thing of the whole reason Aslan is giving his life is because he is saving Edmund. And in the older movie and this movie, we hear that the queen is like planning to kill Edmund at the end anyways. And take Narnia back and stuff like that. But if that's the old magic of she has like blood, Edmund's blood, because he's a traitor, she has that and it's her responsibility to take care of it, then, and the old magic allows Aslan to be in place of that, then wouldn't the old magic also take over if she betrayed her word against the old magic? I'm just saying, like, it. I think I cried when Aslan died last time. It was so sad. Like, I remember being in theaters watching this movie. I think I went with my family. I don't know why. It's weird. Because we're talking like I was like 16. My sister would have been 20. One of her friends went with us. My parents were there. That was weird. I don't know why we had that many people. All right. So Aslan is on the stone table. The girls are very sad. I don't remember. But okay, I heard her shooing the mice away, but I guess she actually shooed them away. Whereas in the older version, the mice were actually undoing the bindings of him. All right, no problem, Ben. I understand you got to run. Jenna, I just saw your comments that Aslan was taking notes from Mufasa. Yeah, and then that makes the girls, they go like, Aslan, wake up. God, and every single time that, wake up, Dad, wake up. Like watching me as a parent now, everything just hits differently. All right. 2 author interviews asked for reschedules for their recordings, and doing the schedule switching has been fun. Aw, Jenna, I'm sorry, dear. Hopefully it goes smoothly. Why do they have to be still? Like, can she not talk to them if they're not still? So this definitely stretched out Aslan being gone a lot longer than the movie did. The other older movie did. Hold on. Yeah, for anybody watching this stream and seeing my face, you just see me talking to my daughter. She's pushing buttons. She keeps on planning things last minute and expecting me to jump the moment she says, I want to do this. And I go, yeah, sure, today, let's go. No, I don't do that. I let other things happen last minute, like her friend spending the night, but not this. All right, back to this story. All right, so we have the infamous battle scene. And I say infamous because honestly, there is so many movies and shows that do battles where they have actual armies lined up on either side of the field and they get ready to charge. Okay, this is interesting. Why is it snow tigers, like or Siberian tigers, are on the queen's side, but yet we saw lions, cheetahs, and such on the other side? Like, I'm trying to figure out if there's a specific divide of the animals going towards each other. Yep. Everybody yells because they're hyped up. Okay, she whispered that line practically. How does everyone in her army know that that's the rule of like no prisoners? Like, there's somebody in the back going, all right, well, she probably doesn't want me to kill everybody. She needs more people, right? No. And here's something interesting. You're going to show a comparison. So the White Witch is standing there still in the back now as her army runs forward, ready to fight. And I bet you, and it's been forever since I've seen this, so I'm going to call it now. I bet you they're going to show Peter lead the charge instead of letting the charge go in front of him. Oh, nope. He's letting the charge go in front of him a little bit. But that's the air support. Air support can always go ahead. Man. I mean, they're throwing a lot of stuff. They escalated. First, it was snowballs to the face. Then it was like splashing water in each other's faces. Now it's like, nah, full on rocks. We're throwing rocks at you. It was an escalation of the story for sure. Of course I'm with you. I'm not going to like bow out now that we're on the front line. Either way, yes. So here we go. Peter leads the charge. So you're showing a difference in leadership between the White Witch and Peter. Okay, first off, those cheetahs would be well in front of the horses. I'm just saying. Again, here's what I do. I apply physics when it doesn't. Okay, now the cheetahs go into full gear. And the tires, what? Where's the divide? That looks pretty menacing, though. Okay, so now we got a suspense of the music and we got just the heartbeat going, which is technically more the drums. And then right as they collide, that's when the sound's going to hit again. Yep. Now we have the sound come back. It is that the silence, when you have all this music in here, the silence carries that weight. The other time we had silence happen was when Lucy found the wardrobe in the first place. So, and when Aslan died. And so now we're going to be cutting back and forth between these two. I mean, they fell asleep. Man, okay, so this is where it deviates from the book a little bit, and even the older movie, is that they fall asleep with Aslan's body. And then she says the line, "I'm so cold." And what I like about that line is that it is multiple faceted. It's not just, hey, I'm cold because I'm sad and everything, but it's also literally she's probably cold because she was laying with his body and he left. And now this is the resemblance, the allegory to Christian belief. This part right here is that he has risen moment. This is like when Jesus's tomb split in half, and the stone cracked, and he had left. This is the same situation. But then, what do you mean, what have they done? Have you not noticed his body is gone now? Yep. At the sunrise of the third day, he has risen. Now, I don't think it was 3 days, but I think it was still spot on here. Wait. Aslan putting his paw down makes me think of so many movies or like TikToks and stuff where there's a cat or a dog or something that just like puts their paw on the human, like, no. Like all right. So notice she's in the back still. Now, she actually still has more people behind her, which I'm surprised. I thought she sent like the entire army there. But I mean, I'm kind of glad she's not always wearing white. It makes it better, but at the same time, it's kind of annoying, like her outfits. It's a phoenix. Man, they got like just about every single damn creature here. No, this is a false victory. So them going, yeah, and being so happy, it's a false victory. Yeah, she breaks through the ice. So this is the line. So you think fall back, they're going to the rocks, like, because they never talked about their battle plan here. Think fall back, go back to the rocks. It means that they are actually losing. They're losing ground. They're not approaching this. But then you hear Beaver say, come on, like, next plan, like here's the next step and everything, which is like, oh wait, no, this is part of the plan. And then you have the archers at the ready. Aw, no, not the unicorn. I bet there's a line in the credits of that no animal was harmed in the making of this movie. Man, Tilda Swinton, like, she has that look down, that like stare down. What do you mean stop? It's a battle. He's a rhino. Oh, you just lost your sword. Okay, you got another one. Cool.
So yeah, he came with multiple swords. He came prepared for the fight.
Yeah. This isn't his first fight. Like we luckily get a little bit of his arc, so just enough that you are saddened by this a little bit. But oh, okay. Wait, I am so confused. Why was the conversations held and they knew to go this far? Also, can I just say Aslan should have done his little like cure-all thing way ahead of time. Though it could have been, it didn't come to fruition until after he sacrificed himself. Okay, the actress that played Lucy, I'm pretty sure her like attempt or the acting video, whatever, tryout audition. There we go. That's the word. I feel like the audition tape had to include crying because they have her crying so many times in this movie. Okay, did anyone get creepy vibes a little bit of like Mr. Thomas is like an older gentleman kind of befriending a young female child and everything? Like, I remember that was a talk when this movie first came out a little bit of like people getting weird, no, I'll just call it pedophile vibes a little bit. Oh no. I don't think the bird's going to recover from that. That's what you really said. Oh man, I just noticed some semblance. So the White Queen, because she killed Aslan, she looks like a lion. Like she has a lion's mane as the battle. Like as if she didn't feel like ready for battle unless she embodied her own enemy, which was a lion. Which comes to, like, usually the thing we hate is also the thing we're trying to emulate a little bit here. And I say we in the royal we. Yep, take the wand. Technically, you're supposed to all be king, so Peter being king isn't supposed to be above you either. And how did they get trained in war? Like, though they say, like, when you fight somebody like MMA and stuff like that, you don't, like, you battle somebody who knows what they're doing, yeah, you'll get hurt. But actually, someone who knows what they're doing in, like, MMA or any of those Krav Maga or whatever, if they spar against someone who doesn't know what they're doing, the trained person is most likely to get hurt, actually. So maybe there's something to that. I don't know. All right. So Jenna, your comments about trying to get schedules to match up, it makes me think of a great clip meme I saw. And it was like two friends that were like, I haven't talked to you in forever. When are you free? When's your schedule? And one of the friends only had Tuesdays and Thursdays free. And the other friend had only Mondays and Wednesdays free. And they just hugged each other and said, it was nice knowing you. We'll never see each other again. Because that's what it's like being an adult. I don't think that word means what you think it means. Sorry, I had to make the nod. So pretty much, Aslan came back to life because the queen doesn't know how to read the fine print of the stone table. So if the lesson we learn at all, people, is read the fine print. Well, Jenna, I hope y'all are able to work out some type of schedule. Here's an idea. What you could do is do a dual video thing. You record yourself asking the questions, and then they record themselves responding to the questions, and then you could cut it together in case you can't do live. Just throwing that out. Okay, this is kind of annoying. It's supposed to be the sons of Adam and the daughters of Eve. By them taking the throne, the queen is gone. But here, Aslan kind of took care of it himself, which was kind of a revenge a little bit. Like, hey, you killed me, now I'm going to kill you. But I also feel like there's a little bit of shock on Peter's face, where Peter, like, realized, okay, yeah, Aslan is probably our friend, but he's also a very, very dangerous lion who has a certain set of skills that is, as Ben put it, a certain set of skills that would make him a nightmare for people like the queen. So, something I didn't like with the original movie, the 1988 one, is that Lucy here can quickly give the magical drop or whatever to Edmund. And then we build suspense because we make it seem like Edmund has died. She put the drop too late, what have you. In the older movie, Lucy's ready to give him drops, and everyone else is like, hey, there's other people who are dying. You know, you should probably go. It's like, what? Like, it makes no sense. Like, they keep on pushing Edmund out and also making it seem like Lucy shouldn't care about her brother. And yes, I'm sure Lucy's going to go help other people on the battlefield, but still, like, it's odd. What are they staring down? My phone just sent me a reminder and said, like, hey, you've been on YouTube for too long on my phone. You should probably change. Oh, so now it's Lucy's idea to go help all these other people. Okay, this shot's unnecessary a little bit. Okay, no, we're showing all the people across the battlefield. Cool. Why is it raining? Why? Okay, they do pretty well on showing other creatures here and everything, so. I honestly feel like the CGI of, 2005 CGI of Aslan is pretty much even on par with the CGI Lion King. You know? Like, I don't see much of a difference. Hey, Michael, welcome. We're about to get to the credits. Okay, who chose these taglines of magnificent? That honestly, Peter's arc was bland compared to Peter and Susan had the worst arcs. Lucy, I think Edmund had the best arc. Lucy had a good arc. I mean, like of caring and everything, and kind of comforting and cultivating that curiosity that she has and the caring of people. But Peter didn't have an arc much at all. Like, hey, you were mean to your brother, now you're nicer, but you're still kind of a meanie. You know, I'm just saying. Okay, will we see him again? Because I honestly didn't. I'll admit, I didn't read much of the books, like hardly at all. Is Aslan in future books? Is he the one character that like continues on? Well, you're not a tamed fawn either. No. Aslan is not as good as you think he is because he, like you and Susan, think he was dead before coming back. I'm just saying. He could have at least said, hey, wait, specified amount of time, and then cry your tears for me if I'm not back. Oh, by the way, this is where I get creepy vibes of like, Mr. Thomas is like, hey, I'll wait for you when you come of age. There's just a little moments like that. Okay, so now we do this beautiful pass forward of time.
Okay, I was trying to hurry that. So Aslan, technically, he's the only character that is in actually every book.
Oh, okay. By the way, I'm pretty sure one of the brothers, I think the guy that plays Edmund plays he plays in the morning show. Yeah, that guy right there. He plays in the morning show. Oh, it's Philip. I like that throwback. But I think he plays as the CEO in the morning show. All right. So now we're wrapping up. We get names of the characters again. Okay, so the thing that bothers me about this part is that these characters grew up. They went through puberty. They're in adulthood. I would say, like, I would almost make the argument that it's been, wasn't it said like it's been 40 years or something? I mean, though these characters obviously look a little younger. Like, I would say at least 20, maybe. I do like the mirroring of their entrance of where they're like, "You're stepping on my toes," and then as they're coming back in, they say the same, practically the same things, and tumble out. Now it opens, but it's the professor, not Miss, what's her name, who was searching for them. Oh, you know. No, he would believe you because he said, "Believe Lucy." He already knew. I do like the character a little bit. All right. Movie
Yeah, I
over.
like him.
Hey, I actually heard that in the background, by the way.
Oops, my bad. I took my headphones off.
Oh, when did you take them off?
No.
Like
I had it
just
muted
now?
though. I had it muted the whole time though. Just when I was
Okay.
speaking is the only time I unmuted.
Gotcha.
But I'm like,
Okay.
oh yeah, I'm sitting.
Yeah,
on my
and you
headphones.
didn't jump on that much, so. And I'm also not monetized, so I think we're okay. So, all right.
So that was good. I'm glad that I
Yeah.
got to watch it again because I did not take notes. I watched all of them and read the book and did not take notes. I kept thinking, oh, I'll take notes later. I'll remember.
No.
I was like, oh, this is the perfect time for me to take notes while they're all three fresh in my head.
There you go. Right.
Because literally when I was watching with my daughter, we were having snacks and we made milkshakes, the whole thing. All right. I'm going to have to pop off. Unfortunately, I've got to help them get this.
That's fine.
But it's coming along. Everything's looking good. And so.
You know what? I will say, even if it's just you and I chit-chatting, I would gladly do this again with anybody and who is going. I think we should limit it to whoever's going to be on screen for the actual script in the book show talk.
Mm-hmm.
But I like this watch party thing. And if there's ever a time that we're doing something, a movie so old that it's just available on YouTube, I don't mind using my channel as the potential share. Especially if what I could do is not share the audio and it's just the video and us talk over.
I told you, watch parties are fun. Even if it's just like 2 or 3 people, they're a lot of fun. I like them.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I just, it's like I'm finally allowed to talk during the movie. This is why I like beta reading. Beta reading and alpha reading is like talking during the movie.
Yeah, I like when we do the, because we're going to do, I was thinking I want to do Sanditon, but the one at Bridgerton's the one that's coming up.
Yes.
Like there's going to be so much silence. It's going to be like, we're going to sprint for 30 minutes and then because it's going to feel like a sprint because we have not seen it. So I'm going to be super excited. Yeah. So it'll just be me going, oh,
I think that's what we'll need to do is
and then I'll take a break.
Yeah. Share a timer and saying we're watching this. It will be done in this amount of time. And share a timer at the same time. So that way there's something on screen and people can use it like a sprint. Yeah. But then when we come back on, we're going to talk about what we just watched.
Exactly. So that's the plan for the new stuff. But I love being able to talk over the old stuff without people. You know, I'm like, no one's going to be upset if we're chatting.
Yeah. I talk over old stuff. I'll even talk over new stuff.
Almost 20 years if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I talk over new stuff because, like, with Bridgerton, I'm like, Simon, what the hell are you doing?
I watched one with, I'll probably be a little bit like that too, but I watched one for The Wheel of Time, and they had they had Brandon Sanderson join them, and he's so chatty. And the guy who was hosting him had not seen it. So I was like, and he's like, I don't know how this is going to work because we know Brandon likes to talk, and I'm going to be so into what's happening because Brandon knows because, you know, he was like, I think he got him ahead of time. So I don't know if he actually saw it or if he's just chatty. So I was like, I hope this works. But I watched it ahead of time just in case because I knew Brandon Sanderson was chatty and I'd want to hear his commentary.
I think I'm gonna watch at some point. I'd still got to do Wheel of Time at some point.
Yeah,
because I know that'll be one of our future ones. But first is
I mostly enjoyed it. I haven't done my final review because I didn't like the finale, and I was so upset because a lot of people have been complaining on and off, and I'm like, it's not that bad, guys. So they switched some things around, but I love adaptations, so I'm here for seeing people's interpretation.
To me, it's media is the message. Like, what form is it in? And,
I want to see what someone else does the delivery. Exactly.
So let me just, I'll say, so Scripting the Book will air tomorrow, Sunday, March 6th. Is that right?
Yes.
Tomorrow, March 6th? Yeah, at 2 p.m. on Nia's channel. There we go. I'll make sure, I didn't do any descriptions at the bottom, but if you're doing this on the rewatch, I will have Nia's channel linked, as well as the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, actually linking to that video. I'll have it linked. And stay tuned. Either follow us on YouTube and Instagram. Those are best. Myself, Nia, Ben Pick, also running to write, and Morgan Lee. And if we're hosting or whatever, it will be somewhere on stories, post, what have you.
Yeah. So, and as soon as I get the things done, whenever they tell me, I will post it. And if I know enough ahead of time, I'll post that I'll post when we're having watch parties, you know, ahead of time. If anybody knows them, I will post them so that you can know which channel to go to.
Exactly. Yeah, for me, mine's like a day ahead. That's when I know. I'm like, tomorrow feels like a good day. Let's do it. So we'll do that. Future. So we got Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe happening tomorrow. The next one, next Scripting the Book won't be until April. And that will be Dune. And then at the end of April will be Bridgerton 2. I'm not going to spout the dates off the top of my head right now, but just know for April, the theme is Dune, that new movie and the first book, and
if you can watch any other of them, if you can watch any of the other Dune, because there is like 2. I think there might be 3, but there's 2 that I've seen, because there's one that's wasn't
it sci-fi, like the sci-fi channel version?
Yes. So whatever ones you can watch, if you want to watch them, like all of them except for the new one are. No, there's one that wasn't so bad to watch, but they're older, and
they are older. I would say I don't think it's as bad as Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe 1988.
That first one, though, with actors that I actually like Patrick Stewart. Listen up, like I love him, but oh my gosh,
like it wasn't. Oh. Okay, so TBD to be that. But just to let people know who's watching this. So April is going to be Dune, and Bridgerton season 2, which is The Viscount Who Loved Me, is the second book. We'll be doing that. And then I don't think we quite have May ironed out, but we will probably before the end of March. Yeah. And then,
because we're between 2 things for May. We might do the Shakespeare.
Yes, we might.
So, even though technically his birthday is the 23rd, so I'm like, but
of April. April would be perfect, but
there's other things that are more timely.
Yes,
for April,
we got to stick to the times here. So I think doing it in May is not a bad thing.
Yeah,
so we can do that. But it works. All right. Well, thank you, Nia. I'm glad your schedule opened up. Thank you, Ben and Morgan, who weren't able to be on screen but still in the chat. I appreciate everyone's comments. This is. I mean, honestly, if I could get paid to just talk during movies, it'd be my dream job. I can react. So, but definitely appreciate you coming on. And again, I will have links in the description for the Scripting the Book movie that will, Scripting the Book show that's going to be on Nia's channel. So thank you.
Bye, everybody. Bye, guys. Thank you guys for coming.